bent, and crumpled. Hold on. As ridiculous as it sounds, you know I did my research and we've got the video to prove. Hold on. So people started questioning, was this baby bump real or fake?
What if the most perfect family in music wasn't as perfect as we thought? What if the story we've been shown for more than a decade was built on secrets? And what if the child at the center of it all, Blue Ivy, was more than just Beyonce and Jay-Z's daughter, but the heart of a mystery?
How natural she is, and I'm just proud of you. I'm so proud of you, and I can't believe how big and grown up you are. And I'm proud that she's gonna represent so many young brown girls around the world. Nobody's prouder than mommy.
So imagine this. What if Beyonce isn't Blue Ivy's real?
Back in 2011, the world watched in awe as Beyonce revealed her baby bump at the MTV VMAs. It was supposed to be one of the most unforgettable pop culture moments of all time. The crowd cheered, Jay-Z smiled with pride, and fans celebrated the coming of music's royal baby. But weeks later, a strange clip surfaced, the now famous folding belly clip. For some, it was nothing but fabric moving. For others, it was the beginning of a conspiracy. Since then, rumors of surrogacy, hidden twins, secret rooms, and nanny testimonies have never gone away. Now, with Ramir Satterthwaite claiming to be Jay-Z's real son, those whispers have exploded into headlines once again. So, the real question is this: have we been watching a beautiful love story or a carefully staged performance hiding the truth? The legendary VMA baby bump reveal. The year was 2011, and the MTV Video Music Awards were already one of the most exciting nights in pop culture. Celebrities filled the crowd, cameras flashed everywhere, and the stage was set for a night of surprises. But no one was ready for what Beyonce did that evening. She walked on stage, glowing with energy, wearing a sparkling jacket that shimmered under the lights. The performance itself was powerful, but it was what happened after the final note that changed everything. Beyonce smiled, unbuttoned her jacket, and placed her hands gently on her stomach. The message was clear. She was pregnant.
Angle, frame by frame, to bring you the truth, the whole truth about Bumpgate.
In that instant, the crowd went wild. Fans screamed, celebrities jumped out of their seats. Cameras turned toward Jay-Z, who was standing in the front row with Kanye West. His face lit up with joy, like a proud dad ready to welcome the most famous baby in the world. That image spread across the internet within minutes. Headlines declared that the royal baby of music was on the way. It wasn't just a pregnancy announcement, it was history. Why did that moment feel so unforgettable? Partly because it was live, raw, and emotional. It wasn't a press release or a social media post. It was Beyonce, on stage, sharing the most personal news of her life with the world. It felt magical, almost like a movie scene. Fans believed they were witnessing not just music history, but a new chapter in the love story of Beyonce and Jay-Z. Did this legendary announcement also set the stage for years of curiosity and suspicion? As time passed, people kept replaying that night. The clip of Beyonce cradling her stomach was shown on every news channel. For months, interviews followed where she talked about pregnancy cravings, baby kicks, and preparing for motherhood. Everything looked perfect. It was almost too perfect. And that leads us to another question. Was this beautiful moment really as natural as it seemed, or was it carefully planned like part of a performance? That night at the VMAs became more than just a memory. It became a foundation for the Carter family image. Every photo, every headline, every appearance after that seemed to tie back to this reveal. Fans believed they knew the truth of her journey, but whispers were waiting just around the corner. The story didn't end with cheers at the VMAs. In fact, that moment became the very reason people looked closer later on. If this was the beginning of the story, what would happen when cracks started to show in the fairy tale? Don't forget to hit the like button if this video kept you thinking, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next breakdown of celebrity secrets and hidden stories. Turn on the notification bell because what comes next might be even bigger. The folding belly clip and birth conspiracies. Only a few weeks after Beyonce's glowing VMA reveal, something strange happened. She appeared on an Australian talk show for a normal interview. At first, nothing seemed unusual. She smiled, answered questions, and looked radiant as always. But then, during one simple moment when she sat down, the camera caught something odd. Her baby bump seemed to fold, not shift, not slide like normal clothing, but fold. That 1 second of footage spread quickly across the internet. People replayed it again and again, slowing it down, zooming in, and asking the same thing. What did we just see? Was it the fabric of her dress bending in a weird way? Was it the angle of the camera? Or was there something more to it? If you saw a pregnancy belly fold in half, would you believe it was just a trick of fabric, or would you start to wonder if something was wrong? At the time, the clip became an internet curiosity. Some laughed it off as nonsense. Others claimed it was proof that Beyoncé was wearing a fake stomach. Conspiracy theories started bubbling up in small corners of the web. People whispered about surrogacy, body doubles, and staged photos, but none of it became truly mainstream. After all, Beyoncé and Jay-Z's image was almost untouchable. Who would dare challenge it? Still, the clip never went away. It became what people call sticky. Every few years, it would pop back up in a thread or on social media. Fans would watch it again and say, wait, that really doesn't look right. The seed of doubt had been planted. Why do you think one tiny clip from a simple talk show interview was enough to keep people suspicious for more than a decade? This moment started a divide. On one side, there were loyal fans who said the rumors were disrespectful and harmful. On the other side, skeptics argued that celebrities live behind carefully built images, and sometimes the cracks show in small, unexpected ways. For them, the folding belly was one of those cracks. Beyoncé never explained it. She didn't laugh it off. She didn't deny it. She just stayed silent. And that silence made the video even more powerful. If nothing was wrong, why not just clear the air? Do you think silence is a way to protect privacy? Or does it make people believe there's something to hide? The folding belly clip was just the beginning. Soon, voices would rise. People close to the Carters would begin speaking, and what started as whispers would grow into loud, unsettling claims. A single second of footage sparked years of whispers, but the real shock came years later. Ramir's explosive claims and the nanny's testimony. Years passed after the folding belly clip, but the rumors never fully died. Then, out of nowhere, a young man named Ramir Satterthwaite stepped into the spotlight. He claimed something shocking. According to him, he was the secret son of Jay-Z, hidden away and ignored for years. At first, people thought it was just another person chasing fame, but Ramir's story didn't stop there. He added a twist that pulled Beyoncé directly back into the storm.
So we went back and analysed the tapes, every shot, every angle, frame by frame, to bring you the truth, the whole truth about Bumpgate.
Ramir suggested that Blue Ivy, Beyoncé and Jay-Z's daughter, might not actually be Beyoncé's biological child. It was a statement so bold and so unexpected that it made the internet stop scrolling for a moment. Suddenly, the old folding belly clip wasn't just a random internet joke anymore. It started to feel like the first clue in a much larger mystery. Would someone really risk going after the most powerful couple in music if they didn't believe their story was true? Not long after Ramir spoke out, another voice appeared. A woman who claimed she had once worked as a nanny for the Carters. Her story was chilling. She said she helped care for Blue Ivy as a newborn, but in all her time with the family, she never once saw Beyoncé pregnant. Not once. Not in the early months. Not near the end. Never. Think about that. If someone who lived inside the house never saw signs of pregnancy, what does that say? Do you believe a former nanny's words carry more weight than internet theories, since she was allegedly there? Of course, not everyone believed her. Some said she was lying for attention. Others argued she might be under pressure or even exaggerating. But the fact that her story matched the suspicions people already had made it impossible to ignore. Ramir didn't back down either. He spoke with frustration, saying this wasn't about money, but about truth. He claimed he was abandoned, erased, and silenced. And now, with nothing left to lose, he was ready to speak. If someone says they only want the truth, not money or fame, does that make their story more believable? The Carters, as usual, said nothing. No denial, no press release, no interview, just silence. And the longer they stayed quiet, the more people started to wonder. What if Ramir was right? What if the nanny was right? What if the perfect family image had been carefully built on secrets? Would you trust silence as dignity or see it as proof that there's something to hide? The story was no longer just whispers from fans. It now had faces, names, and voices. And once that happened, the Carter empire no longer seemed flawless. Cracks were forming, and people everywhere were starting to look closer. Cracks in the Carter fortress. For years, Beyoncé and Jay-Z built an image that looked unshakable. Every photo, every performance, every interview seemed carefully planned. They lived inside what some people call image architecture. a fortress of perfection where nothing was allowed to go wrong. But no matter how strong a fortress looks, small cracks eventually appear. And once people notice, they start asking questions. Whispers about surrogacy, secret children, and hidden rooms inside their home started piling up. Former staff claimed that entire sections of the Carter house were blocked off, guarded, and off limits to most people. There were deliveries coming through private doors and times when Beyoncé would vanish for hours, only to reappear, looking flawless, but never visibly pregnant. To some, that sounded like standard celebrity privacy. To others, it looked like carefully staged choreography. Why would a family go to such extreme lengths to control what staff members could see? Then came the talk about Jay-Z's alleged hidden twins from years before fame. The rumor said that another woman had children with him and was quietly paid off to disappear. Contracts, NDAs, and secret trusts supposedly kept everything silent. It sounds wild, but in the Carter world, where control is everything, people found it strangely believable. Do you think it's possible to keep children hidden from the public if you have unlimited money and power? Fans also turned back to Jay-Z's lyrics. Lines that once seemed like poetry now felt suspicious. Phrases about shadows, doors never open, and protecting families with silence began sounding like coded confessions. Maybe it was art. Maybe it was something more. Can music lyrics be trusted as evidence, or are we guilty of reading too much into art? At the same time, Beyoncé's brand was built around motherhood. Blue Ivy was more than a child. She was presented as proof of love, legacy, and generational greatness. That made the rumors even more explosive. If Blue's birth story wasn't exactly as shown, what else had been staged? When a child becomes part of a brand, do you think the truth gets blurred with the performance? Even Tina Knowles, Beyoncé's mother, found herself pulled into suspicion. Old interviews of her praising Blue Ivy's talents were rewatched. Fans noticed she avoided talking about the pregnancy itself. There was warmth in her words, but also caution, almost like she was protecting a secret. Piece by piece, the Carter Fortress started looking less like perfection and more like a puzzle. And at the center of all those cracks stood one name, Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy at the center of the mystery. What happens when a child becomes the centerpiece of a mystery they never asked for? From the moment Blue Ivy Carter was born, she wasn't just a baby. She was a symbol. To fans, she represented the love story of Beyonce and Jay-Z, the continuation of their legacy, and the future of a music empire. Every picture, every appearance, every mention of her name was carefully managed. She was not just a child in the public eye, she was a brand. Blue Ivy grew up in front of the world, but never in the usual way. She wasn't seen randomly in public like other celebrity kids. Instead, her appearances were rare and controlled. Award shows, music videos, luxury campaigns, each moment looked planned like part of a bigger story. For some fans, it was a sign of good parenting and protection. For others, it was proof that something was being hidden. If people suspect lies in the story of her birth, do they start doubting every part of her life? The theories about surrogacy and secret children placed Blue Ivy at the center of it all. Supporters argued that even if Beyoncé had used a surrogate, it shouldn't matter. After all, many families choose that path. But critics asked why there was so much performance around it. The VMA reveal, the interviews, and the silence that followed the folding belly clip. If it was just privacy, why stage it so dramatically? This turned Blue Ivy into more than just Beyoncé's daughter. She became the heart of the debate. Every smile, every photo, every achievement was rewatched, not just with admiration, but with suspicion. Some fans wanted to protect her, others wanted answers. And in this battle, Blue had no choice or voice. It wasn't only the fans asking questions. Journalists, bloggers, and even former insiders fueled the storm. Stories of hidden rooms, missing timelines, and guarded deliveries grew louder. Old interviews of Tina Knowles were replayed for hidden meaning. Lyrics by Jay-Z were examined for clues. It felt like everyone was looking for cracks in the story, and Blue Ivy was always at the center of those cracks. The painful truth is that she never asked to carry this weight. She didn't create the mystery, but her existence became the symbol of it. If the rumors are ever proven true, it wouldn't just change how people see Beyoncé and Jay-Z. It would also rewrite how the world views Blue Ivy's entire childhood. And that's the final haunting thought. When an image is built so perfectly, do people ever allow the child behind it to simply be human?